I was born in Kerrville. I'm a graduate of Tybee High School. I went to the University of Texas at Austin, where I met my college sweetheart. We got married in Austin. We had 2 kids, raised them here. A lot of soccer games, a lot of track meets. And they're in their 30s now. And I still have the same college sweetheart. So I've been here my whole life, except for when I was at UT. My family started a printing company in 1964. Right around the corner from your family's surveying company. I think that's the only 2 companies left in that block that were there when I was a kid. My sister and I purchased the printing company from my mother after my father died, and my son works in the business and signs my paychecks now, so it's just an ongoing family business. Well, I ran for city council in 2022 because Judy Eichner came by the shop, Kim Clarkson came by the shop, and Brenda Hughes came by the shop, and it's awful hard to say no to them. And it was a fun experience. The campaign went well, and I got to know them a lot better, and I felt like I got to serve my community again. It'd been 30 years since I was on city council, and lots changed. But really the basic motivation is you want to serve your community. And if you have an opportunity to serve, you need to take it. And I was honored that they asked me to run. Now, why am I running for mayor? A lot of the same reasons. They did come by and ask me to run. Judy Eichner has been a great mayor, but the city charter won't let her run for another term. And so they came by and asked if I would run for mayor, and I thought about it a long time. Carol and I had a lot of discussions about it, and honestly, there's 2 reasons I want to run. First off, it's duty. I feel like I have a duty to my community. If I have an opportunity to serve, I need to take it. But secondly, and not a lot of people know, but I had a lot of fun being mayor. It was fun for me, and I'm looking forward to doing that again.
So you were Kerrville's youngest mayor at the time, right? Can you tell us just a little bit about your history the last time?
Well, I was 30 when I was elected. And, you know, but by the time I was 30, we had 2 kids. We were moving into our 2nd house. We'd been paying property taxes for a long time. And I'd been involved in politics, helping run people's campaigns and stuff. So at 30, you're a lot different than you are. I'm now 62. At 30, you think, this might be a career. And at 62, you think, oh no, this would never be a career. This is something you do. You try to do your best, and then you let someone else do it. And so I had a lot of fun being mayor back then, and I imagine we'll have a lot of fun this time too. I've served on a lot of nonprofit boards, usually as president of the board. Or chairman of the board. I was the chairperson of the Kerrville Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. I was the president of the board of the Symphony of the Hills. I was even on the Kerrville Folk Festival board for a while. So, and at my church, I was they called it a church council, and I was chair of the church council of our church for a while. Here's the thing, being on boards, nonprofit boards, it's a leadership training program, really. And it also teaches you how to work well with others. And I would encourage anyone, if you get asked to be on a board, say yes, because it's a really good opportunity. I was appointed to city council in 1990. I ran for my seat in 1991, and then in 1992 I ran for mayor. When it was time to run again, I realized that I'd been in office. When I went into office, my daughter was in diapers, and when I came out, she could read, and I was just missing too much. And so I decided I wouldn't seek re-election. And I've been active helping campaigns through the years, but I never really anticipated being back on the ballot again. You may not believe it, but some of the biggest issues today are the big issues then. And in my opinion, the biggest issue facing Kerrville is sustainable growth. Look, Kerrville's going to grow, and we can either be behind the 8 ball or get ahead of the growth. And sustainable growth means not only do we grow in a manageable way, but we take care of our resources. We make sure that we don't lose the small town charm of Kerrville. Water's always been an issue, but I think that's a subset really of sustainable growth. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about water and how we don't have any water. And the truth is we had a drought this year, and we had a drought last year. And if you've been here for a long time, like my family has, you see a lot of droughts. They come and they go. Fortunately, the city of Kerrville and the citizens of Kerrville have invested millions of dollars, millions, to have sustainable water. That means we don't only just draw out of the river, we also draw out of a reservoir that's built there. Nimitz Lake is a reservoir we can draw from. We also have groundwater, so we have wells, and we have reusable water, which is treated water that we can then use. It's treated after it's been used once, and we can use on golf courses and other landscaping needs, and the ball fields. But the big one is the ASR wells, which stands for Aquifer Storage Recovery Wells. You know, there's 866 million gallons stored there today, and they're putting about 500,000 gallons each additional day. That's about 300 days worth of water for Kerrville's needs. And those people who say we don't have water don't realize the thought, the care, and the investment this community has made to make sure we have plenty of water. Out in the county, it's a different story. If you live on rural acreage and you have a well, sometimes you're going to have problems. But Kerrville has many sources of water. During this last drought, some people said their wells went dry because Kerrville was taking all the water. But the truth was, we only took about 20 to 21% of what we were allocated from groundwater. And had we taken 100%, I could hear their arguments. But you can point your fingers at Kerrville, but Kerrville's being a good steward of water. And we've developed resources to have plenty of water. You know, there are those who believe we have too much debt. If I looked at the budget book before I came, I think our total debt is $136 million. And that's a big number. But you've got to remember, 1/3 of that is the public safety building, which the voters approved at $45 million. Since I've been on council, we approved $12 million in water revenue bonds to work on our water system. They identified $100 million of projects we need to work on our water system. We started with a $12 million bond program to get started on that thing, but we can't just sit down and spend $100 million on our water system. Debt is a way to do it because it spreads the cost over the life of the asset. Recently, we issued $2 million in tax notes. That's going to buy 2 new pumper trucks for the Kerrville Fire Department. And we also did $20 million in sales tax revenue bonds. That's going to help repair the Callow Theater. It's going to help rebuild Scott Schreiner Golf Course. It's going to help modernize and repair the Olympic pool. And it's going to help with a history center and a new park on Nimitz Lake. Now, some people say, well, that's our tax money. And it is tax money, but the idea behind using a sales tax revenue bond for quality of life projects means, yeah, the citizens of Kerrville are paying that sales tax, but so is everyone who comes into the city of Kerrville. That means county residents are paying that. That means visitors are paying. And so those amenities that improve the quality of life shouldn't just be paid for by the citizens of Kerrville. They should be paid for by everyone who's going to use those facilities and amenities. And so I think using a sales tax revenue bond was a smart way to approach these needed repairs and some new, exciting new amenities for our community. You know, the city in the last budget actually lowered the tax rate by 2.7%. It was from 57.52 to 59.95, no, 55.95. A 2.7% reduction in the tax rate. However, because there were new properties on the tax roll and because the valuations went up so much, it was actually a tax increase. We don't have any, the city council does not have any control over appraisals. And we did lower the rate. But in all honesty, more taxes were raised. About $1 million more taxes were raised. Property taxes are touchy. I mean, I pay property taxes. I've been paying property taxes in Kerrville since 1982. But here's the thing. Property taxes revenues are budgeted this year for about $12 million. Sales tax is $11 million. And part of the Kerrville 2050 plan is the idea to shift the burden away from property taxes to other taxes. So the general fund has about $30 million in revenue this year. The water fund has about $16 million in revenue. And the total revenue across all the categories is about $78 million. Yes, property taxes are the thing we talk about most. But they're a fraction of where the city gets its revenues. I don't want to pay any more taxes than I have to. And when I write those checks, it hurts. I think I personally signed checks for property taxes, not just city taxes, but school taxes, about $22,000, $23,000 this year. It costs money to own property here, and it's expensive, and I understand that. But I think we've done a good job of trying to diversify the revenue stream for the city and also be cautious stewards with property tax money. It's important. I mean, we're trying to do a good job with a limited resource. And I understand it's hard to pay property taxes. I do. I don't like them either. But it's a good way to help fund what we all need in our community. Look, I lose my temper too, and I've lost my temper at City Council, and I've apologized for it. But the truth is, if you can't work with the people on the City Council, you're not going to get anything done. And it's been an honor to serve with those people on the City Council. Even the young man with whom I'm now competing. Because it's a place where our community can discuss the issues that face our community. But the truth is, you're not going to be an effective council member unless you can get 2 other council members to vote with you. You have to have a majority. And to do that, you have to be respectful. You have to understand what motivates your fellow council members. And just saying no to everything doesn't work. Now, as for the people who get up and have other points of view than my own, I think that's fine. I like listening to it. It's a little awkward in that when they're in the visitors forum, we can't specifically reply to them because it's not on the agenda. You don't want to have a council meeting where just anything's discussed. You have to have an agenda that's posted in advance. And so there are a lot of times I wish we could just say, okay, let's talk about this. But by law, we really can't do that. I enjoy the visitors forum. I think I've learned some things, and sometimes my mind has even been changed. But you have to do it with respect, and you have to do it working toward a common goal, and that's been lacking, in my opinion. We have an excellent staff. I mean, we really do. Professionals, caring, they go the extra mile. And I'm proud to be part of that team, really. But the problem with some members of our community, in my opinion, is they don't trust staff. They don't trust government. And so while you don't want to give anyone carte blanche, just do whatever you want to do, you have to have some level of trust. And I trust our staff. Now, if that ever goes, I've told them, if there ever comes a day when you lose that trust, you will know it, and everybody in our town will know it. But they do a great job, and I'm proud to be part of their team. City government really is one of the governments closest to you. I mean, we talk about national politics, we talk about state politics, but really, school boards and county commissioners and city government, they're very close. And it's kind of an experiment in democracy. I support going to vote. I've always gone to vote. And I hope other people will vote. Look, I want you to vote for me because I think my ideas and the team I want to work with are putting Kerrville first and want to make our home better. But if you're not going to vote for us, I still want you to go to vote. That's the important thing. Elections are a conversation. And this year we get to have a conversation about going forward or just putting up obstacles. And I want us to go forward. I know Brenda Hughes wants us to go forward. I know Kent McKinney wants us to go forward. I know Jeff Harris wants us to go forward. And I hope you agree with me. But if you don't, I still want you to go vote. Here's the thing about city government. We're the best show in town twice a month.